Hey there everyone, it's Joe from Bullion Now, bullionnow.com.au, selling you the best bullion bars and coins, shipped to you worldwide from Melbourne in Australia. This is your weekly precious metals price analysis, where we take a look at the big four: gold, silver, platinum and palladium. Head over to youtube.com/bullionnow, a much larger family than the last time you heard from me, which was about 5 weeks ago roughly. Over 10,000 subscribers right now, 10,600. You know what to do. Hit the big red subscribe button to join the winning team. I've been away on paternity leave, so I'm back ready and raring to go. So let's take a look at the metals. I'm going to do a zoom out today. This is gold on the monthly time frame in US dollars. Of course, we're using the tradingview.com website. I'm going to do more of a macro view rather than the sort of intraday, intra-week sort of stuff, just because I have been away for a little bit. I've been keeping my eye on the metals, but not nose to the grindstone, if that makes sense. Has much been happening? Yes, it has, particularly in silver, but we'll come back to that in a second. We'll be looking at them in US dollars only this week, just for brevity's sake. We won't look at the Australian dollar. So gold in monthly. On the monthly time frame, I probably will need to go to the weekly as well. But interestingly, it is Monday, March the 1st, 2021, which means it is the first trading day of a new month, and it's the first trading day of a new week as well. So fresh for Monday and fresh for the month of March. That tells me that potentially, of course, that a little bit of a rise is going to occur in the next week. Roughly, I think. That's just my personal opinion. Of course, don't do anything that I would do. It's not financial advice. But we've had a couple of weeks of down movements in US dollar terms. Slightly different for Australian dollar terms, but we'll talk about that in a second. I guess 2 weeks from, let's see, 18.25 in the last two weeks, all the way down to, whoa, over a $100 move in the last 2 weeks. Well, look, that would tell me that this week, and it's already started, the start of a new trading week, and particularly the start of a new trading month of a green candle on the monthly time frame, we might see a little bit of a rise back up to a certain point. Where would that be for me? Personally, I think it's pretty obvious to see, but I think we'd be looking at, if we were going to move higher from here, the resistance level would be around about your $1,800 mark, right about there, somewhere there. I think would be it. $1,800 might be a level of resistance. And also we can do a little bit of trend line analysis right here. I probably wouldn't take it through that peak right there. I'd probably take it back down to here, roughly even somewhere there. You could cheat it, something like that. So maybe somewhere between 1,800 and coming back up to around about 1830 mark would still be well within that trend line, as you can see right there. But for me, for my money, I reckon about 1800 would be about the level we would see a bit of resistance at in the next week if we are heading up from here. Of course, not financial advice, as I said. If we are moving down from here, that is a good question. We would need to have a quick look. Let me pull out on the monthly, pull out to the monthly, and I'll get rid of this old chestnut right here. Let's look at this on the monthly time frame. So this one green candle is the whole of March, which has just started. If we were moving down, if this was going to be a down month, let's talk about the next level. I think right here, if we're going to see another red spike on the monthly time frame, so 1, 2, 3 months of red candle, you're going to be looking for me right about... It's going to be, see that one touch there, a close, and another touch there of a close, of not a close, sorry, a low there of your, where are we, 1670 and another 1670. It's actually 1666, but I'll just put it about 1670. That would be a level of support for me personally on the monthly time frame. If we were to have a red candle, we might see a bit of a resistance level at 1670. And let's just talk lower from here. I've mentioned this one before. It's been my big line in the sand. I think I mentioned it a couple of months ago at least, when we looked at this last time. We did a big macro view. If I were playing over the next couple of months, if we were just to see a big couple of months of downward movement in the precious metals. I think this level right here, as you can see, right about there, about 1550, can you see that? Also coincides with these levels of support and this level of resistance. So that would be my level, about 1550, right about there. So moving down further from here, if we did, 1670 would be a level for me, and this big one of 1550, that would be a big line in the sand that you do not want to break significantly down, because then we're heading down into this kind of the 1300s kind of territory in US dollar terms. Breaking higher, let's think, I guess, quickly, blue sky thinking. Breaking higher from here, let me get rid of that. I get rid of that. There we go. I want to get rid of that. Out of my way. Out damn spot. So we've got that level, as I said, of 1800, I think would be a level of resistance. And moving higher, of course, you've got this previous level of 1930 right there. And then it's just moving higher and higher from there. So I think let's just leave it at that for now for gold. Let's see how it plays out on the monthly time frame. As I said, that's my resistance level. If I really had to pick it, and we are breaking through 1800, what would be the next level on the way up? Yeah, no, I'm going to keep it there. I'm going to keep it there at 1930. If we break 1800, I think it would be a pretty quick stretch, a pretty quick movement to that 1920, sort of 1930 level, in my humble opinion. That is gold on the monthly time frame in US dollars. Let's take a look at silver. Silver, the whole silver short squeeze thing. Did it play out? No, I don't think it did. It did not play out. The whole GME, game stonks, that whole thing, and then people saying, well, let's short silver. Basically, it was the 2021 version of buy silver crash JP Morgan that the likes of Max Kaiser and whatnot started back in, I think it was 2013, something like that, 2010, 2013. I think it was. That hasn't played out, so we haven't seen that big rise, but we did in that week, particularly that first couple of days. That's where we saw that big spike. Where are we? We're going back to, I think it was probably, we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there we go. Right there. That's what took us from about $25 in US dollar terms all the way up to $30 was that potential for the big silver squeeze. Didn't occur. Doesn't mean we're heading down from here, though. Doesn't mean we're heading higher, but let's have a look at where we could move up and down from here. Go back on the monthly. I'm not going to say where I think it's going to go, because again, there's a lot of theories out there at the moment, particularly in silver. I wouldn't call them conspiracy theories, but a lot of theories sort of in opposite directions at the moment. So I won't talk upon that. But if we are moving lower from here, let's talk about that. Where's the next level of next level of support. Still getting back into the swing of things here, coming off paternity leave. I've got to get a little bit extra sleep. Let's see, just fumbling on my words. Yeah, absolutely here, of course, at that famed, infamous $21.40, $21.50 level, roughly there. You can see it's going to be a big level of support. It's been a level of support so far. When we broke through all the way down to $11, all the way up to $30, it's been a level of support, which has been good to see. But the more you test a particular level, the more it's likely to be taken out. So that would be the big level of support right there at 21. Moving, if we can go into the weekly, what would be a next level in between there? If we were breaking down, nope, it's not going to be there. It's going to, that's a very clear one right there. Right there at $24. You would want to see it not break below $24 in order to be confident that we may continue just ranging through time and then hopefully heading on its merry way up. So level of 24, that's your big next key level right there, in my humble opinion. So the level of 24 moving down, and 2120, between 2120 to 2150 is that level, moving lower from there. Moving higher, more blue sky thinking. Of course, the big one on the monthly time frame, get that out of the way. The big one on the monthly time frame is going to be this next one here at your $35 level. Are we heading there in the next month or two? can't tell you, but that's going to be the big one right here at $35. It's roughly actually $35.60, and of course from there is your big old $50 level. Let's see what happens in the next few months before we talk about the big one here, the big 50, and then, you know, doing a big sort of what's going to happen from there. But we need to break through this $35. That's going to be a really, really key one. And moving higher in the short term, let's have a look on the weekly time frame. Is there anything we would need to break above? Yeah, we'd want to break above that $28.30 level. This is all stuff that you guys can obviously see. It's right in front of you if you just take a quick look at it. Moving above, you'd want to see it break above and hold above $28.30 roughly. Those are my levels higher, and those are my key levels of support if we move lower. I'm not going to tell you either way where I think it is actually going to go. I'm actually not sure. Could go either way. Let's take a look at PT, Platinum. Loving the look of Platinum at the moment. Can you imagine getting your grubby little hands on $565 US dollar silver back in February last year? Geez, you'd be doing really, really well, and you'd be very happy. So congratulations to all who actually did. But we're looking very, very healthy in the price of Platinum, particularly because we have broken through in the last month. We broke through this very long trend line, very long time trend line, all the way to February of 2008. That's the first one, first touch, second touch, and third touch is a charm, I guess, and we have broken through. Generally what happens is you'll break through a big trend line and then you'll come back to visit it at some point. Did we do that on the weekly time frame? Let's check that out. No, we did not. Okay. Well, did we do that on the daily time frame? No, we did not. Okay. If I was a betting man, I would have to say that generally, and it doesn't happen every single time, but more often than not, you do eventually come back to visit the trend line at some point before having a big move higher. So even though it is looking good on the monthly time frame, you've got this new monthly candle here to start off for March, I'm going to suggest that it is more likely, and doesn't mean it's going to happen, it's more likely, just based on previous experience watching the markets, that once you, as I said, once you break a trend line, you have a spike above, and then you tend to come and visit it again at some point. Keep that in mind. I'm still very bullish for Platinum, and I could be completely wrong. In the month of March or the month of April, we could just sail right through, particularly this key level here of about $1,380. You can see that right there. Levels of resistance, then a few levels of support right there. We could just sail straight through there and onwards and upwards from here to that sort of key $1,500 level. But just bear that in mind. You do tend to come and visit it. We haven't done it on the daily. We haven't done it on the weekly yet. Just keep it in mind. And if we were to do that on the monthly time frame, so for example, if this is a fake out right here, if the month of March is the red candle where we move down, you'd be looking at a move of down to about $1,120. If we do that in April instead, then you'd be looking at a move down to around about that same kind of level. Around about your $1,100 level would be a level that it would come down to. Doesn't mean it is going to go there at all, just something to keep in mind. As I said before, the level I mentioned before right here is that $1,500. It's roughly $1,520 is going to be a key level of resistance. If and when we eventually do, which I think we will, eventually break through this recent high, that'll be the next level of resistance, and then we'll talk further from there. Moving down, if we do happen to break down, I don't think we will further than this trend line, but if we do, of course, you've got this previous level of resistance around about $1,000, let's call it that, and I'll leave it at that. Those are my targets moving lower and my targets moving higher, with an emphasis on just don't be surprised if it does break down to this trend line right here to retest it. Just don't be surprised if it does. Okay, and finally on to Palladium. This thing has just been ranging. I've been saying the word ranging for for quite a while with my technical analysis here. in Palladium, it's still doing the exact same thing. So I don't really have a lot to tell you. It's just ranging between this level of, what is it, 2180 and your $2,500 level, roughly. I don't have any fundamental news on Palladium, so I can't say it's definitely heading up higher or definitely heading lower in the next month. No, I really can't tell you. I mean, we started the month of March off a little bit green. That doesn't mean anything, though. You could always potentially have a reversal here. So I'm going to say it's just ranging for now. I'm so sorry to be boring with Palladium, but I just really need to see it break out above or break down below for me to give you any more kind of decent news on it. So that's it for Palladium. So I've done gold, silver, platinum, Palladium, all in US dollars. We won't do Australian dollars today. I've kept it long enough. Of course, head to bullionnow.com.au. Getting all your best bullion bars and coins. There's been a lot of new stuff added to the website since I've been away. It's been great to see, new stuff being added all the time, of course. And if you want to keep up to date with everything, my wonderful price analyses and, of course, awesome interviews we do with fellow stackers, our epic unboxings of deliveries that we get, and our educational stuff too, like does brand name matter? Our How to Invest in Gold series. If you check that out right here, go over to the playlist section. This is our brand new How to Invest in Gold series. Go check that out. Share that with your friends and family, because it's a really good starting point to get people interested in the precious metals. Hit the big red subscribe button, all that stuff. Like, share, subscribe. Take it easy. We'll speak to you soon.